So what do I mean when I say hang around 5 losers and you'll be the 6th?
You'll talk, walk, and operate like people because you're around it.
You want to be around people you learn from. It can't just be you're at the top and everybody's looking to you.
You become the people that you surround yourself with, and why it is so important to be picky about those people.
So be careful who you socialize with, because you're going to anchor to them as a baseline level of success.
Purpose chasers surround themselves with purpose chasers. Like, don't surround yourself with bums. I know that might sound rude, but don't surround yourself with people who are always complaining. Don't surround yourself with people who are always showing you basically what's not working.
If you want to achieve something in life, you have to surround yourself with go-getters. You have to surround yourself with people who have achieved something. If you're the most successful person in a room, you're in the wrong room.
The people that you surround yourself with really do impact where you go in life and who you become, and the habits that you adopt, and the mindset and beliefs that you carry throughout your life. And what is that saying as well? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It sounds like a joke, and it sounds, oh, it's just wishy-washy, but it's very much true. And I think this also goes for both friends and family, because people don't necessarily give you these beliefs and give you these, thoughts out of coming from a horrible place, but I think a lot of it comes out of fear, and that's what I'm going to really be breaking down in this video. Whether it be from when you're little or from the friends that you surround yourself with, if you're always hanging around people that, oh, I didn't do this because of X, Y, Z, and they always have excuses, or there's always a reason why they didn't do something, or it's this person's fault and it's that person's fault. They never take responsibility for their own actions and trust and belief. We all know a couple of people like that. No names need to be named, but we all do. Anyway, but in essence, this video is basically going to be about how your circle can either hold you back or catapult you forward towards the life that you want. Why is this true? This is true because we unconsciously, it might not be intentional, but we unconsciously, adapt the habits, the language, the mindset of the people that are closest to us. Now, whether that's friends or family, that can either lift you up or it can bring you down. And it might not, like I said before, it might not even be intentional or be done in a harmful or hurtful way, but it might be out of fear, or it might be out of how they were brought up. That's just what they know. So for example, if you are wanting to be fit and healthy and lose weight, for example, but you surround yourself with 5 people, or your friends or your family or whatever are all, I don't know, eat fast food every day and don't eat healthy, don't work out, don't whatever. But then their reason for doing that is, oh, I don't have time, and it's not fair that this person has this, and I don't live close to a gym and I can't eat this, and blah blah blah. It's just excuses and excuses and excuses. Oh, they go to the gym for, it's the 1st of January and they're there for maybe 4 days, and then, oh no, okay, they're not going. Why? It's not their fault. They have every excuse under the bus. Okay, now, whether you intentionally or unintentionally want to adopt those habits, if you are living with those people, or those are the habits that your friends are adopting unconsciously when you go out with them, okay, you might, yes, you can be a very strong-willed person. Now, I'm not saying this is the case for 100% of people, but it makes it easier if you surround yourself with people who aren't necessarily, have those habits. In the case of money or finance or whatever, let's say in my case, when I wanted to start my business, I've always had the goal of hitting that 10k a month. And I knew, obviously, not a lot of people at all are making that type of money. I knew that and I acknowledged that. However, a lot of content, you have to understand, I was consuming. And a lot of people that I was reaching out to, because I'd reach out to a lot of people who, whether I saw them on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and they were making 50k a month or 100k a month or 10, 20, whatever. So I knew that, okay, it was doable, and there was a whole bunch of people out there doing that. However, when I voiced that to people who might have been making 2k a month or 3k a month or whatever, it was very much like, oh my gosh, that is literally, that's unachievable, that's not realistic. The majority of people in the UK, you know, nobody really makes that type of money. You know, be realistic, like that's not common. And thankfully I'd already developed that mindset of, okay, there are people out there doing that, and I knew I could achieve that when I had set that goal. So I knew that I'm not gonna internalize it. But did it bring me down? Yes. And was I like, okay, I don't want to share my goals with these people? I had to know, and I had to realize that yes, it might be fun or comfortable hanging around these people, but they are not aligned with where I want to go, where I want to be, who I want to surround myself when I am older, and therefore that's fine for me to not be in those circles anymore. You know what I mean? So what you have to take from this is that negative people, whether they intentionally negative or not intentionally negative, is they drain energy, they drain ambition, they drain belief, even when they don't mean to.
If you sit within 25 feet of a high performer, your own performance improves by 15%. Here's the kicker. If you sit within 25 feet of a low performer, your own performance decreases by 30%. This means that our negative emotions are more contagious. That if you're around people who are low performers, whatever that means to you, who have negative cues, who are feeling anxious or tired or low confident, you could catch those cues and that affects your own performance. This is why it is incredibly critical to invest in the 5 people who you spend the most time with. You want to make sure those 5 people are the cues you want to catch. Do you like the cues they're sending? Do they give you the right motivation, feelings? Do they make you feel liked? Do they make you a better version of yourself?
So take what you will from that. Like I said, it really depends on the type of life you want to live and where you want to go. For me, you just have to be very intentional with who you surround yourself with, who you tell your dreams and ambitions to, because, girl, if you don't want to adopt the habits of the people that you are surrounding yourself with, you need to do an audit of that circle and see if it's benefiting you. The next part of this is that this is the slightly more difficult part, because yes, you can have friends, you know, from when you're young that you might have to distance yourself from, but the tough reality of this is that a lot of the times this can also be family, and they may love you, but they also might project their fears and limitations onto you, and then slowly but surely you're going to also internalize those beliefs, whether you want to or whether you don't want to. Sadly, it happens. And for me, for example, I know that there are many people that live a very abundant life. I think this life anyway is very abundant. There's a lot out here, whether it's money, whether it's anything. I think that it's a very abundant world we live in, and there's so many people in this world that don't have to worry about money, that have many properties, that have invested hundreds of thousands of pounds, that are driving this car, that are doing this, that are traveling to this place, that are doing that, that are doing this, doing whatever. And I think to myself, well, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? So you don't have to cut them off by any means possible, but I do think you need to limit their influence on your mindset, especially if it's holding you back. Now we're going to talk about signs that you are surrounded by the wrong people. They complain more than they take action. Now obviously everybody complains, everybody has those days, but if they are complaining more than they are taking action, why haven't you I can't go to the gym, it's so hard, it takes so long to get there, it's not fair, I don't like the way I look, I just haven't been eating so well these days, I don't like how, you know, my belly overhangs and I can't see my feet where I look down. But have they taken action? No. Okay, where do we go from here? Okay, so that's 1. 2, they discourage your ideas rather than support them. If you say to someone, whoever it is, I have the goal of making 10k a month, or I want to start a business, or I want to have 20k invested by the end of the year, or I want to, I don't know, run a marathon, or I want to travel to this place, and all you get is, I don't think that's like realistic. I think, you know, maybe just try and do this, or maybe just that's not this, or then that's another sign. 2, they normalize bad habits. And for me, I think for me personally, this is a big one, because again, I acknowledge, obviously we can all have our off days. I'm not saying I'm perfect. If I want to, we all have our off days. But if you're normalizing laziness, if you're normalizing overspending, gossiping, guys, I love a good gossip here now and then, but when I'm meeting with my friends, that's not all we're talking about. There's bigger fish to fry in this world. There's more important things to be talking about than gossiping 24/7. Come on now. So there's another one. Or even because I think this is a big one as well, because when you start to break out of those habits, you'll often find that it's looked at sideways, or you get, again, discouragement, or it's like, oh wow, you sure you wanted this, or you sure you wanted that? And especially when you're young and impressionable, if you have someone you look up to, or someone that you've spent a really long time with growing up, say these things, it can be very discouraging, and it can be very it can lead you down the wrong path again. Okay, last point is what you are going to do about it, and also steps that I took to audit my group and make sure that I was surrounded by the right people. But one, you're going to want to audit your circle. So guys, I know it might be a little bit of effort, but you're going to want to write down, or even just look at, the 5 people you spend the most time with. As the title says, if you hang around 5 losers, you're going to be the 6th. So if you write down 5 people, and respectfully, they've got nothing going on and they don't push you in any way possible to be the best version of yourself, take a minute and reevaluate. So you've got to ask, are they pushing me forward, or are they holding me back? And don't get me wrong, you might think, for example, okay, let's say they're not necessarily the healthiest, but they're a really smart person, or they're running a business, they have that going on. Okay, then you know that you can go to that person for this, or you know that you can go to that person for this. Or for example, what was the example I was going to say? If you want to keep your party friends, and you want to keep your, on the weekend you do this and that, whatever, you know that, okay, when it's time to party and have fun, and it's that season of your life, I'm not saying cut off completely, but you know that you have these friends or these people for a particular activity. You're not going to be spending the week with them smoking, drinking, watching mindless, stupid TV and shows that don't get you anywhere. You know that, okay, these people are for this, this is for this, this is for this. I think my main thing in this is you don't need to cut off completely, but if when you're surrounding yourself with these people, you feel drained and you feel that, okay, I'm only having mindless, silly, gossiping conversations, then you limit the time, or you know that when it's this season of my life and I need to focus on building, growing, this, that and the other, learning, then you might have to take a step back. But when it's this time, when you want to relax, when you want to have a little gossip, because everyone loves a little chin wag, then you might entertain them. So then you're going to want to find your new circle. So for me, this is how I kind of went about this when I took a step back. I knew that, okay, I could find a lot of knowledge in obviously books, in podcasts, in mentors, in online communities or networking events. Before you could attract those people in real life, I made sure that I built the mindset that, because I think before, in the nicest way possible, if you're in this category where you're smoking, drinking, doing whatever, and unhealthy, unfit, overweight, whatnot, and not a very nice person overall, then you have to think, before these people who are making their money, that have got themselves put together, that are eating right, that are doing this, that are doing that, would they want to hang out with you how you are right now? It might sound mean, but I don't think so. So you're going to have to do some internal work first. And like I said, that might be changing your mindset. So reading books, watching a few podcasts on something that interests you, whether it's business, mindset, psychology. That's what I done. I read a lot of finance books. I started learning about investing. I started going to the gym. I started working out. I started being very mindful about what I put in my body and making sure it was nutritious, not just rubbish. And then making sure that, okay, you're in a position where you want to be. How can I now make sure I'm in those types of circles? That can be networking events that you can meet those people. That can be, I actually found, which take what you will from it, I reached out to a couple of people, whether it was that I saw on Instagram or YouTube that I love their content. Some of the bigger people, they will not respond, but a lot of the people I've met, people had dinner with them, spoke to them, became friends with a lot of these people. If you want ambitious people, if you want disciplined people, kind, healthy, active, about their money mindset, if you are that person yourself, you should not feel bad for wanting that from someone else. So don't feel bad. Don't feel like you have, my standards are too high or this, that and the other. No, be selective with the people that you surround yourself with, because they will, like we've just gone through, impact how you think and how you go about your life. So if you carry yourself in a certain way and you have certain standards for your life, you deserve to set the standard of the type of person that can hang around you. So yeah, anyway, yeah, be very mindful and protective of your energy, and if you don't have the right people yet, be the kind of person you want to attract, and eventually they will come. Trust and believe. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you took away a lot and you start, auditing who's in your life. Anyway, lots of love, and I will see you very soon.